Good evening, I'm Charlene White. Doctors are warning that a measles outbreak could hit the capital particularly hard because so many children haven't received the MMR vaccination. Many parents were put off after a rogue medical report by a London doctor called Andrew Wakefield cast doubt over its safety. Though his research has now been discredited, the number of vaccinated children in the capital is still well below the 95% limit needed to prevent an outbreak. Liz Wickham reports.
Lion! Roar!
24 months is the target age for the first dose of MMR vaccine. Currently, London's take-up is lower than other regions, being the area most influenced by concerns raised by Dr. Andrew Wakefield about the alleged possible link between triple vaccine and autism. Health bosses say you need 95% of the population to be vaccinated for herd immunity to be effective. In England, an average 92% of 2-year-olds have been vaccinated. But in London, it's just 87%, the lowest rate in England.
We read the leaflets, we looked at the pros and cons, and everyone felt that it was the right thing to do now. We felt that it was the safe decision.
It doesn't help when politicians don't tell you the truth. So I know in the past, when we had the Prime Minister Tony Blair, he didn't, if he was to inform the public that he'd allow these children to have it, and yeah, people would be confident in doing it.
London's dense population, especially in areas of relative poverty, increases the risk of transmission of the disease. But despite that and the slow uptake of MMR, we're still not a high prevalence area for measles. Last year we had 137 cases, whereas a comparable population in the north had 600. But numbers are up on last year, with 67 in the first quarter.
Measles cases in London are going up in certain parts of London, and we need to prevent outbreaks in these small pockets. In public health terms, this is about creating a herd immunity.
The campaign targets 10 to 15-year-olds who missed out on the MMR as toddlers and who are likely to bring the infection home to the most vulnerable group, babies who are not breastfed. Many parents still resent not being offered a single measles vaccine rather than the MMR, which would have allayed their fears about any alleged link to autism and averted the current crisis. Liz Wickham, ITV News.
3 Islamic extremists from London have been jailed today on terrorism charges after they were arrested just weeks before the Olympics. One of them was Richard Dart, who'd appeared in a TV documentary about his conversion to Islam. He'd discussed travelling to Pakistan to receive terrorism training. This report from Ron K. Phillips.
Okay. Mashallah, nice to meet you, brother. Take care.
His parents are both teachers and he had a comfortable upbringing. But after converting to Islam, Richard Dart became radicalised. His ambition, along with his co-accused, to commit terror.
These were very dangerous men. One of them had travelled overseas and received terrorist training. The other 2 were intending to travel at the point that they were stopped for obtaining terrorist training. And it was a result of the examination of the computers seized at that time that revealed the potential deadly terrorist intent that they intended.
Dart had changed his name to Salahuddin al-Brittani, and when he appeared in a programme about converting to Islam, his ideology was clear.
These people that conspire to misguide you into the hellfire.
Co-accused Jahangir Alom had earlier left his job as a community support officer. The pair took advice from the third defendant, Imran Mahmood, who'd already been to Pakistan. When experts decoded their messages, it emerged they'd been talking about Royal Wootton Bassett, the town which marked the repatriation of soldiers killed in Iraq and Afghanistan, and also wanted to target staff inside MI5 and MI6. But the trio were being watched and were arrested as they were about to leave for terrorist training in Pakistan, their Stratford home searched just weeks before the Olympic Games. Dart refused to stand when he was sentenced, saying, "I believe ruling and judging is only for Allah." As he sentenced them to a total of 19 years, the judge said all 3 were committed fundamentalists who would have been prepared to kill. Ron K. Phillips, ITV News.
A jury's been told that a man was murdered at a crowded Westfield shopping centre next to the Olympic Park just a month before the Games began. Liam Woodard, who was 24, was stabbed in the chest in June last year. The prosecution claims that as he lay dying, a fight broke out with men throwing chairs and brandishing knives. One man denies murder, 7 others deny violent disorder. It's been revealed that Derek Boateng, who was killed at a bus in North London, was stabbed to death on his 16th birthday. The schoolboy died after receiving several knife wounds on a 393 bus in Highbury on Tuesday. Tonight, a 15-year-old boy has been charged with his murder. Ria Chatterjee reports.
In a newspaper today, Derek Boateng's sister described him as the best brother in the world. A couple of days ago, he was celebrating his 16th birthday, but the last place he was seen in public turned into a crime scene.
Police were called to the scene here at around 3:10 on Tuesday afternoon. It's believed the bus was stopped here when the stabbing happened, and it's being reported that paramedics treated Derek Boateng on the floor for 20 minutes before he was taken to hospital. The 393 bus had been crowded. It had stopped for pupils outside the Highbury Grove School. They boarded and a fight broke out. Police have described it as an appalling attack, and they're urging anyone with information to come forward. Ria Chatterjee, ITV News, Highbury.
As you may have seen, Chelsea are on course for the Europa League final after a win tonight away to the Swiss side Basel. The Blues took the lead in their first leg of their semi-final thanks to Victor Moses' header. Basel then struck back in the second half with a controversial penalty, but David Luiz's free kick in injury time gave them a 2-1 victory. The second leg is next week. Let's take a look at the weather now. Here's Martin. OK, that's it from us, but don't forget you can look up what's been happening in the capital on our website. Of course, that's at itv.com/London. We're back tomorrow morning with updates during daybreak, so we'll see you then. Good night.